Does Longlegs indeed have long legs? You'll just have to watch the movie to find out. Hi, I'm Jack, and welcome back, because today I'm going to give you guys my review for a new horror movie that is distributed by Neon that I just saw in theaters a couple days ago. Longlegs, directed by Oz Perkins and stars Maika Monroe and Nicolas Cage. Let me know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts on Longlegs? I would love to know that. And with that said, let's get started. The movie follows FBI agent Lee Harker as she is assigned to an unsolved case about a serial killer that takes strange turns and reveals evidence of the occult. However, as she discovers a personal connection to the killer, she must go as far as she can to stop him before he strikes again, and realizes that this case is deeper and darker than she could have ever imagined. I've heard about this movie for the last month or two. I was very curious because I love Nicolas Cage, and Nicolas Cage plays Longlegs in this, and because of buzz surrounding this movie to be one of the scariest movies of the last couple of years, and that it is an absolutely terrifying and unsettling movie. I didn't see any of the trailers for the most part, so I came in pretty blind aside from seeing the poster and some marketing towards Longlegs, which did leave me very curious to see it. So now that I've seen Longlegs, I thought it was a very creepy movie. It is unsettling in every way you could imagine it being, and it is a very interesting take on a serial killer horror thriller movie, and I really liked it. The two lead performances here are fantastic, with Maika Monroe as our lead character, Agent Lee Harker. I thought she just embodies this role really well. She really gets into this character and makes me connect with her, feel for her, the circumstance that she is in, and especially her relationship with her mother and her peers as she is on this case and piecing all the pieces together. And Nicolas Cage is just a really fantastic actor. He is really out there doing all of these movies, whether it's something really mainstream or something really weird. It's always very interesting to see what Nicolas Cage does. And he is incredible as Longlegs. It still has the classic Nicolas Cageisms, but without giving much away, he is very freaky and menacing in this movie. You never know what's going to happen with him.
Wait, what?
And then the rest of the side performances are very good too. And another thing I really appreciated with Longlegs is it wasn't afraid to go to very uncomfortable places with the story. This is a mystery that has a lot of serious edge to it. And so with a movie like this, it leaves you very unsettled from the opening all the way to when the credits roll. And the way this movie was able to keep the tension and keep the intensity of everything, I think was very impressive. And it's really well directed and well written by Oz Perkins, to where I don't feel like with the story there are parts of this movie that didn't make sense, or character choices could have been swapped for a horror movie like this, aside from a few instances early on in this movie. But it is a well done movie, and it's well crafted for a movie like this. And I think the mystery was told really well, and it's very interesting. And I think that the characters were really able to carry this movie well. They worked. They are really good characters, both the protagonist and the antagonist, and all the way through, it's a very engaging thriller. The way this movie was able to balance having horror vibes, thriller, murder mystery, very satanic supernatural elements, I thought was very well. It does a lot with its tones and its ideas at play, but it never feels like it's too much or it's too little. It has the right amount of what it would need to function. And this movie is very well paced. Not a single dull moment in sight.
Groovy.
I was really invested in what was going on, with how scenes were progressing and what information was being revealed as it goes on. There's some truly terrifying jump scares here, which I think were really well effective. And even though it's not quite the scary in the sense of just overabundance of jump scares, despite really good jump scares, it's a lot more in the feeling of dread and uneasiness that Longlegs has over the course of this movie, which makes it a horrifying movie. Whereas most horror movies recently, for the most part, which I've enjoyed, like I love Barbarian and Scream 5 and 6, and Nope has elements of horror in there that I think are really cool, and even The Black Phone. There's some really good horror movies as of recently, and some movies that are pretty much duds on that front. But what makes Longlegs stand out from a lot of the other horror movies from the last couple of years is that this one has really effective jump scares and not a single of them miss. But it really makes me feel uneasy and nervous to see where things were going to go with the characters that get into the crosshairs of Longlegs, and so as Lee Harker on this case to catch him. And it's a very thrilling cat and mouse game of how far is she willing to go and how is she going to solve this case. And it is just really well done with some really good twists and turns, even if in the last half of this movie I predicted where the end result was going, and a lot of the twists at the end I did see coming, but it was twists that made sense and twists that really like heightened this movie to where by the very end it leads for a very nice cohesive horror story with some serious dark edges to it and a really gloomy, murky nature that I really liked. And in terms of the production quality there, they pulled it off. Longlegs is not for the faint of heart. If you're not a fan of horror movies or movies with supernatural, psychological thriller mixed within horror, this movie's not for you. It's going to be very tough to sit through if that's the kind of person you are, because Longlegs truly goes for psychological, supernatural horror route with elements of crime procedure, satanic elements. It is a really dark movie with some really good scares, and it is also a movie that creates a lot of discomfort and uneasiness out of both myself and the people who will watch this movie. It is really freaky, and it goes for that all the way. And I haven't seen many horror movies this year, admittedly, but Longlegs is easily my favorite horror movie I have seen so far this year, and I absolutely loved it. Even though I did find the end result to be a little bit predictable, it's well told, love the story and the two lead characters, and for all of the sense of dread it evoked out of me watching it, I thought it was an amazing movie that delivered on so many aspects and lived up to its reputation, the hype I've heard it's been getting. So in the end, I'm going to give Longlegs an A. Nicolas Cage shows you yet again why he's able to do everything. And in this particular movie, I actually got pretty scared of him whenever he's on screen. I absolutely loved Longlegs. It's a very crazy movie and goes for a lot of the things it tries to do and does it successfully. If you're a fan of horror and you're very curious to see Longlegs, I highly recommend it. If you're not a fan of horror, I would stay clear of this one. This movie would create a lot of uneasiness for you. But I really liked it to see what Oz Perkins was able to do. He directed this really well, and I'm curious to see what he does next in the horror genre, and Maika Monroe and Nicolas Cage are just fantastic in this, and so I really liked it. I enjoyed it. It's one of the best horror movies I have seen in recent years, and if you really want to see it, I do recommend you do so. So yeah, that's my review for Longlegs. What are your thoughts on the movie? Let me know down below in the comment section. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Stay tuned for some upcoming videos I have planned very soon, and don't forget to follow me on social media. My username is down below at the bottom of the screen and in the description below, so please go do that while you're at it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button, and stay tuned for more.